got two stories here. A story about degenerate clergy, and a story about a bunch of lawyers turning child abuse into a cottage industry. Which story do you want us to write? Because we're writing one of them.
They knew, and they let it happen. It could have been you. It could have been me. It could have been any of us.
Even though the actors and the filmmaker were able to sort of replicate our 5-month investigation in 2 hours and 8 minutes, watching the film really reminds me about how painstaking and frankly tedious investigative reporting is.
Spotlight.
This is the tip line.
You think he's got something?
I want to keep digging.
We need to focus on the institution. Show me that it came from the top down.
It's like a big granite wall, and you chip away at it and you chip away at it until you finally poke your way through it. And that's essentially what we had to do in this story, and that's very often what a lot of journalists do every day to get to important stories that important people want hidden.
How do you do that and not be afraid to lose your job?
Well, I think, Joseph Pulitzer once said, every reporter a hope, every editor a disappointment. And I think reporters very often have to go with their instincts, and if they're good reporters, and that means they get in the face of sources all the time challenging them, they need to perhaps do the same thing with their bosses.
Guys, listen. Everybody's going to be interested in this.
Obviously, the church will fight us very hard.
In order to do our job properly and hold powerful people and institutions accountable, we have to ask questions that make people uncomfortable. And that's our job.
We got him a sit down with the bishop and a little dough, and that's the best they could hope for.
Well, certainly the best the priest could hope for.
No, the church promised to take the priests out of circulation.
And did you follow up on that?
We can't pal around with the people we cover. We can treat them fairly, we have to treat them fairly, but our job is to get stories. And if the people we're covering don't want those stories out, we have to keep pushing.
You're going to give me the names and the names of their victims. Are you threatening me?
I am here because I care. We're going to tell this story. We're going to tell it right.
I'm hoping we can keep this between us until we all get on the same page.
Is that why we're here, to get on the same page?
What does it mean being a good journalist today?
It means knowing where to go to find a good story. It means talking to people that you wouldn't ordinarily talk to. It means keeping an eye out in the world around you 24/7, looking for important stories. And it means when you get a story that's important that you realize the significance of it and don't ever take no for an answer.